A healthy dinner option for yourself and your entire family is a little twist on the old spaghetti and meatballs. We're going to be doing a turkey and meatball dish. Siva, how do we start?
Well, we have a lean ground turkey here. Instead of beef, turkey is much more leaner and it's more healthier. So I'm going to add some ground turkey.
How much do we have there?
We have about a half a pound here.
Okay.
And I have some chopped onion. Just about a quarter of it. Just to give it a flavor again.
Yeah.
And just 1 clove of garlic.
Which always adds flavor to everything.
Absolutely.
Love garlic.
And we're going to use very little breadcrumbs.
Just to keep it all together?
Yeah. And in here, what I have is 100% bran. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this for the meatball because, again, we're going to use less meat in its place. And again, it's just going to give a lot of fiber and it's so much healthier. And nobody's going to know you put fiber in it, actually. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water. And I'm going to just let it soak.
So you want the bran to soften?
Yes. And you can just set it aside for just a few seconds. It doesn't take very long for it to incorporate.
So once we add the bran, we've also got a bit of salt and seasoning here.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to add a little bit of oregano, dry oregano. Again, it gives a really, really nice flavor. And I'm just going to use just a touch of salt. And while I'm waiting for the bran, I'm just going to crack 1 egg. Because again, the egg is just going to keep it all together. And because we want to make it into a meatball. Now, as you can see, your bran is like really soft.
So it's also a binding agent.
Absolutely. And you're going to see how it just all comes together and it keeps it all together.
Now, while we're mixing that, we're going to talk about the pasta that you can serve this dish with.
Yes.
And maybe, a few things that most people might not know about pasta. Tell us about what we have here.
So what we have here is, first of all, your basic whole wheat pasta. And whole wheat pasta, again, resonates with some kids and some doesn't. But again, we're going to pair it with beautiful turkey meatballs, so nobody's going to know it's whole wheat. But if they're kind of giving you a hard time, then what we have here is a multigrain pasta. And again, multigrain is various grain, but make sure it's whole grain, not just a multigrain, but it's whole grain.
Right.
So it has about 5 different grains. And then lastly, what we have here is a pasta that's called lentil pasta. And it's made with lentil flour, and it's actually low glycemic and it's healthy and it's delicious, and guess what, it tastes like your regular pasta.
And it's got flaxseed in it too.
Absolutely.
So you can't go wrong there. So you're going to explain how we poach the meatballs.
Absolutely. So basically what I'm waiting for is now our water is almost boiled. So we're waiting for those bubbles to come because we want the water to be really, really hot. We don't want to drop the meatballs when the water is not hot. Then, you have the water and it's going to get waterlogged. So we want the water to be really, really hot.
Now, how long would this take?
I'm going to poach it for about 10 minutes. I'm just going to cover it and I'm going to let it cook. And what's going to happen is the water, with this lid, it's going to create steam. And so the meatballs is going to cook in the steam and the fat's going to come down in the water. So you're going to see, actually, when the meatball's done, it's going to be so moist and juicy.
Now, in the meantime here, on the other stove, you've got your sauce going.
Yes.
And what do we have in here?
Well, we have our ingredients that are basically the traditional French sauce, which is made from a combination of onion, celery, and carrot, which is a mirepoix. So what we're going to do is just not only the meatballs, because you want it to taste good. And when you cook, slow cook carrots and onion, it's just going to taste absolutely wonderful. And again, we're getting more fiber into, for our children, and a little bit of garlic, of course. And
secret ingredients there.
Absolutely. Any pasta, of course, and pasta sauce. And we have some cinnamon and bay leaf, again, to give some nice aroma. So it's going to smell very restaurante quality, very, Italian. And last, what we have here is a basic tomato sauce, but of course it's low salt, no sugar sauce. So you definitely want to get those options.
Now, let's check on our meatballs.
Basically, as you can, all the flavors are coming together now. You have the carrots and the celery, they all nicely caramelized. Our meatball's been soaking in our tomato sauce. And we let it cook for about good 45 minutes after the meatballs have been transferred in there. And so the sauce gets really nice and thick.
It smells phenomenal. Wow. And so this is really the ultimate in healthy, meatballs and pasta recipe here, because we've poached those meatballs. We've put a lot of fiber in them as well.
Yes.
And we've been very conscious about the sodium and sugar content of our sauce.
Yes.
So,
and at the end of the day, when you serve this to your children, they're just not going to know that you put some bran in it or even pumpkin puree in it. But it's good all the way, because we're going to serve it over a lentil pasta, and they're just going to eat it up.
And if you're not using pasta to serve it as a meatball and spaghetti dish, you can use it in other ways as well.
Absolutely, and these meatballs actually freeze really well. So if you're having a dinner party, you can freeze these meatballs ahead of a time and serve it like a Swedish meatball style. I mean, you can have all sorts of dipping sauces. I mean, it's a versatile recipe, so you can use it for anything.
Well, it smells wonderful. Turkey, meatballs, and pasta here on WhereParentsTalk.com.